Why, hello. So I have some Kuretake watercolors here. It's gonna be a fun toy. I'm already very excited.
Look at this. So I bought me a little toy. It's pretty. I'm going to play with these. Oh, this is gonna be dangerous. I think I'm okay with it. Oh, look at that.
This is very thoughtful to put a color chart in the lid, because you know you always got the lid with these. I like this. Very thoughtful, very well done. Swatch sheet, whatever you want to call it. The words are not coming out right today. It is what it is. But look at the brightness and the vibrancy of these colors. Of course, I had to swatch it. I love swatching paints. I don't know why. It's just one of my favorite things. But those are just going to be forever in that little lid. And they look pretty good. These are going to be fun. So this is a sketch that I had done previously. And I want to do this, but in a bigger form. And maybe with these watercolors. I'm going to try this new watercolor paper while I'm at it. I have not tried Fabriano watercolor paper before. This one is 25% cotton and 140-pound paper. That's, not a bad one. These are some of the things I might be using. I love these Kolinor mechanical pencils. And technically it's a drafting pencil, I think. But whatever it is. See, I have an architecture background, so I love drafting pencils. I love them. Oh, I love them so much. So I have a lot of lead holders and drafting pencils and stuff, and it's just one of the things I keep with me. But look, here we go. Oh, look at that color. Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, look at them. Okay, so the thing is, they're mixing into each other really nice. So we're going to make a very colorful cat. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make a very colorful cat. And I'm just going to keep laying down just levels and levels of color to see where this goes. Because I don't know if this is going to lighten up as it dries, if it's going to stay this vibrant. I don't know yet. See, the thing is with a lot of watercolor, as it dries, it lightens up quite a bit. See how that purple part had gotten pretty light, and that blue had gotten pretty light, and I'm already putting a second coat on it. Because, that kind of thing happens. It happens with watercolor. It is just one of those things you got to plan for. So, but, if you're going to work, it's one of the things that I struggle with watercolor, is that I always want things to be more vibrant than I can get them. And that's not because of the watercolor. It's because of skill. It's because of my skill. I'm not good enough at it yet. I got things to figure out still. You see? You never really stop growing as an artist. You just change the goalposts. Or, maybe that's just me. Maybe that's my personality type. But, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. It's how I function. So it's how I do things. So a lot of this stuff I'm not going to be good at. And I'm not going to be good at for a long time. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I messed up. So the paper kind of, it made a little wavy. And so we're going to fix that. We're going to take that right out. And what we're doing instead is make him mad. He's going to be a mad kitty. We're going to give him some blush in his face. He's going to be a grumpy kitty. Because that's what the reference photo was. He was a grumpy kitty. So we're going to fix that. So instead of that purple line, we've had some nice pinks and reds and those sort of. But do you see what I'm doing here? I'm kind of turning him into a rainbow cat so that I can kind of test all the colors. Because there's a lot of colors in here. I didn't touch all of them, but I touched a whole bunch of them. And so far, I'm pretty happy about this. I'm going to have to play with these some more because I'm intrigued enough to definitely get them out again. And because they don't really, I don't even know how to explain it, but they're not exactly acting like other watercolors that I've used before. I am by no means a expert in watercolor. Watercolor is my least favorite and least done medium, just because I think it's so hard and I'm not that great at it. But I'm trying to fix that. I'm working on it. I'm learning, okay, y'all? Don't hold it against me. That it's part of growing as an artist. Is that you got to learn some of this stuff. You got to put in the manual labor and figure it out. And that's the stage I'm at with watercolor, is that I'm figuring a lot of this stuff out. It's acting pretty nice on this paper. I'm pleased. I'm going to have to try it on my good old Gansai too. We're going to dry it with the hairdryer. Am I supposed to do that? I don't know. I don't care. I just needed to be dry quicker. I do not have the patience to sit and wait and let it finish. I just don't. So, hairdryer. we're just gonna keep adding layers. I want some of these spots to be a lot darker than they are. And so, we're gonna keep adding detail into like fur and maybe add a little bit more here and a little bit more there. Just keep adding to it because it lightened up quite a bit as it dried. And I was not expecting it to act like that. So I guess if I really want to make it super pigmented, I need to lay this stuff on almost like gouache because so the interesting stuff about this is it's not transparent, but if you use it lightly, it is transparent. So like maybe it's like in between. And it's not, I kind of dig it. We're kind of getting along. It might just take me a while to get used to it because it is not behaving the same as other American type of watercolors that I would be normally used to. Well, of course, it's a different kind of paint. It shouldn't act the same, just by virtue of what it is. So here we are. I'm going to do the line work on top. I missed a little bit of the footage. I don't know if I didn't take the footage or if it disappeared. Anybody who films knows, that kind of stuff happens sometimes. Sometimes something went wrong and the footage just goes away somewhere into the ether and you never get it back. But I got most of it. So I'm just going to use my favorite brush pen on top of this. It is the Pentel color brush. It's the water resistant one so that if I need to, I can go back in afterwards and add more color on top of it and the black line work won't move around. It just stays. I love this brush pen. If you watch any of my other videos, I use this thing constantly and I probably will continue to use this thing constantly because we just get along. Is it the best ink in the world? No, but it's very conveniently already in the barrel itself. That's where the ink is. So I don't have to, it's not a dip brush. I don't have to dip it in anything. And they make refills for the brush so you can just change it out when you run out of ink because I use a lot of black ink. So I just change out the barrel after I use it. And it's very convenient. It's pretty good ink. It's in a beautiful brush tip. I love it. Go get one if you haven't got one yet. He looking like a cute little grumpy butt. The colors are fun. I like that. And I'm going to bring in, that's my reference sketch that I'd already made. And what do you think is missing? Can you tell? Because it took me a minute to figure out what's missing. Because whiskers. How did I forget the whiskers? It's a cat. It's a very important part of a cat to have the whiskers. So, we're going to fix it. It's fine. He already looked like I'm late on his dinner, so I forgot his whiskers and I'm late on his dinner. That's just what this one looks like. So we're gonna fix that. And even with the whiskers, I can already tell something else is missing. Something else needs to be added to this. I'm not quite done yet. This cat needs some chaos. Cats are full of chaos. You know what I'm gonna do? You figured it out yet? Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make some splatter. We're gonna splatter all around this kitten because this kitten is grumpy. And we are just gonna make a chaos kitten. That's what we got here. Splatter is the perfect definition of chaos. So we're gonna do some of that. And let me tell you, this actually is going on pretty well on top of all these other layers that I got on there. So that's the thing that makes me think this is pretty decently closer to a gouache than it is to a watercolor. It really is its own thing. It doesn't really fit in either category, and I kind of like that. I don't have anything else like these. They're a lot of fun. I think we're gonna get along. We need to play a little more with it. Sometimes you can find unexpected things in chaos. It's just one of those things that universe seems to like the unexpected, and it likes unplanned things. It just does. You can learn a lot that way. But that's also kind of the prerogative of the artist. That's what we do. That we, outside the narrative, we just kind of are. All artists are. So thank you for hanging out today. I had a good time. This was fun. Bye.